Evisceradio. Hey everybody, my name is Thomas and thank you so much for tuning in to Evisceradio YouTube style, where I interview bands that I have on the radio show and we talk about what's good in life, what's good in music, and everything in between. It's a guaranteed good, genuine, wholesome, awesome time. And thanks again for joining me. And this one is going to be a really, really good one. I've been looking forward to this since 2022. These guys really, if you've been paying attention to what's good in the metal scene these days over in Europe, then I know you guys know this name. They go by Iotunn, Nordic for giant. Now, when I listen to music, I like storytelling. I like concept. I like very, very well-crafted music. And these guys go the extra mile in a genre of music where space and metal is pretty commonplace. This band is definitely not exempt from all that, but these guys go the extra light year. And if you are into what's going on in Europe these days, then man, they need no introduction. Look at them, Iotunn, Access All Worlds, man. And these guys are kicking all sorts of ass. They were a really cool COVID discovery for me. Access All Worlds, which is great, yeah. It's a very, very special album. That is some songwriting perfection from start to finish. It's very, very cool, very interesting, very unique take on the exploration of the astral cosmos, Iotunn style. It is fucking dope. I highly recommend you check it out. Again, I've been looking forward to talking to these guys for quite a while. They are just out of this world, pun intended. And on that note, kick back and relax and enjoy what I'm sure is going to be another awesome, genuine conversation. Iotunn, man. Yes. Yes, I got you. Yeah. Sometimes, like I've had bands show up on here and it's like a total computer reboot for them and like
yeah.
You know, rewiring stuff, moving stuff around. But in the end, it always comes off as, you know, like it always works out.
Yeah. I'm not the big Zoom guy, so I had to install it and so on. So yeah.
Oh yeah, what's your preferred platform?
I think via Messenger actually, but
Facebook Messenger.
But this is good.
Yeah, I know Zoom's great. Zoom's my preference. It renders really easily. Like it's sort of like when the interview's done, you just boop, stop, and it just prints right out. And I find it looks fun.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
good
man.
to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you too. Finally, dude.
Yeah,
We've been working on this one for a little bit since the summer, I think.
Something like that. Yes.
Yeah. Life's busy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. How things been going?
Quite good. We've been like band-wise, it's been very good. We've been in the Netherlands a couple of times and been working a lot on our next album. So yeah.
Yes, the new Iotunn. I can't wait for that. Yeah, but you guys must be digging the shows, eh? Like, have you been playing like much up until now since all the COVID restrictions and stuff have been over with? Like,
yeah, we had some. We played in the Faroe Islands last summer at the G Festival.
Oh yeah, where's that? I wonder.
It's in. It's a town called Sydgöta or something like that.
Okay, yeah, not familiar.
Small town, but a very nice festival. And then we played 2 times in the Netherlands, and we had our first 2 headliner gigs in Denmark.
Good.
About one month ago or something. Yeah.
Cool, man. Right on. It's got to feel good to get back out there for sure.
Oh yes, but we had a couple of tours planned that got cancelled because of COVID. So
of course, yeah, it has a way of screwing up all kinds of shit.
Oh yes, but that's the same for everyone. So
yeah, whether it's music or, you know, essentially in this one, life in general, like everyone took a big, huge pause. But like, you know, I'm really happy that you guys came out on the other side and are continuing to do what you do, especially after like leaving a crater in the ground that is called like Access All Worlds, dude. Like, I'm really happy that you guys kept rolling after dropping that one.
Yeah.
Just to get it off my chest, that is a that's a sick album, man. Like, thank you for providing me with like some rich storytelling.
Thank you.
Yeah. Still to this day, I do pump it out, man. I look forward to talking to you a little bit about it. I know you've done interviews. I know you've done interviews on this in the past, and I'm not gonna ask you to repeat stuff, obviously, but I was hoping I can maybe pick your brain on it from like a musician's standpoint.
Of course.
Yeah, man. I'm a musician myself.
Yeah.
And
what do you play?
I'm not a death metal guy. I'm an acoustic player. I play like it could be folky kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Very, very upbeat, lots of energy, good vibes type shit, with a little bit of a steer towards like guitar showboating-ish. Like I'm technical, and I like to put the emotion into that, which is a complete opposite from what the Evisceradio thing is. But cool. I'm wanting to release a 4-song EP concept album kind of thing. And I've never spoken to anybody about where their headspace is when it comes to concept albums. And Access All Worlds to me is definitely falling into that category. And I wanted to ask you, like, coming up to the recording process or the writing process, did that story was that already solidified for you when you were moving into that? Was Access All Worlds gonna be this story, or did it sort of take place as you were moving forward in the process?
I think it took place during the process. And I think that's something that happens a lot, actually, because there's a big connection between evolving the music during this process and have this talk together with the whole lyric process, I think.
Okay.
And of course, it was Iotunn, our singer, who did most of the lyrics. We talked a lot about the lyrics. That's also the case with our next album. But I think it evolved during the process very much. It's not like we had perhaps some framework in the beginning, and then to have a starting point, so to say. But it evolved during the process.
Cool,
it
man.
Did.
Yeah. Was there anything significant that went down during the process that sort of catapulted it to where it wound up? Like I'm kind of wondering for examples, but like if it took place, if it sort of evolved as the process went, were there certain periods in your lives where you're like, oh, the story should go to this chapter or the next chapter?
I think it was quite naturally for all of us to take the music out into space and traveling and so on, because first of all, we all are very curious about the universe, and we love sci-fi, and
same here.
And also it's kind of, it was a good story to reflect on how we also like to work on the music, which is kind of travel in itself also, I think. So when you kind of arrive at some creative point, then we always think about, okay, that's cool, but how about going over there or there and going into the unknown and see what kind of sounds and layers and shit would like present itself if you take it further and further. So
absolutely.
So it's very much aligned to how we like to create music, but also just very natural because of those interests. And perhaps we just always wanted to make this kind of crazy space album.
Dude, well,
and I think when working on such a story, it also makes it very interesting to have the travel connect with all kinds of thoughts going on, I think, on a more like universal life questions that like is questions for all of us, so to say. Yeah.
Yeah, man, for
So
sure.
yeah.
I'm a big believer in the universe being alive. I feel like
Oh yes.
vibe and energy is like a language
Yeah.
into itself. And
Yeah.
I kind of go forward in life doing what I do in general with those kind of philosophies in mind. And
Yeah.
to hear that the writing process for, I guess not just the album, but like the way that you operate as a human, going through that and exploring new territories to see what kind of new sounds or
Yeah.
stories or
Yeah.
whatever is just like it's a pretty um it's a pretty deep way of going about your, you know, your particular mission and your particular path. And I'm glad mindsets like
Yeah.
that found you in a band like Iotunn and like
Yeah.
have you work on projects like Access All Worlds. I bet you the new album that's coming out probably is going to be along the same similar creative process. Whether the theme is the same or not,
Yeah.
but
I can say that there's going to be a lot of new themes in the lyrics, and I think that is also because we really try to, on one hand, it's been years for us to like arrive at something we can call the Iotunn sound.
mm-hmm.
But we want to evolve on that core sound, but we also want to present new aspects to it. So it feels like a continuation of the whole Access process, I think. But still, I think people will find it very interesting that the next album will bring on new things. Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's also like keep on traveling and keeping that energy going. That's the funny part in being creative, I think, is just to keep on exploring and yeah.
Keep pushing boundaries, keep looking around.
Always.
Yeah, you have to challenge yourself, right? If you don't look for those challenges, then you know predictability could come out, stagnation could happen. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you need to be able to push yourself. In a couple of the interviews that I was watching on YouTube of you guys, it's a number of points have been brought up where you guys talk very highly about yourselves as like just people, you know what I mean, and how these musicians and friends are the exact components that you need to be able to explore those boundaries. And it shows on that album. I know it will show on the next album, and I think you guys definitely have the resources, as it were, to put out some like super duper interesting stuff.
Yeah, and yeah, I agree in everything you say, and also I think it's in like you say, it's in our DNA as individuals, but also like when we get together collectively and work on music, it's you know, it's like going to Norway and just wander around in the mountains. That's very much how I feel when I create music.
Sure.
It's a connection with something much bigger, and that's just a very like profound and great feeling to be in, I think.
Isn't it though, man? Like I said before, the universe is alive. There's a whole thing about about connectivity and being grounded. You had said it's like walking the mountains in Norway. Do you mean literally? Is that something that you do?
Yeah, that's literally, yeah.
No shit. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, we all really like to go into nature. Yeah, most of us live in Denmark, but we've been around in nature in Scandinavia and so on. Yeah.
Did you grow up like rural, like in a smaller like village type situation?
My brother and I grew up in the countryside actually, and also a drummer, I think. Yes, and our singer is from a very very small town in the Faroe Islands, and up there you're in the big nature all the time. You can't be one place in the Faroe Islands without having majestic nature around you. So that's something, that's really amazing.
Yeah.
And Eskil, our bass player is from an island in Denmark called Bornholm.
Okay.
So there's no one, like we're not from the big cities.
Well, I can definitely relate, man. Neither am I.
No.
No, man. I mean, I'm living in Toronto right now, which is one of the biggest
Yeah.
ones over here. And my reasons for coming out here is another story. But like
Yeah.
I grew up in like the maritime east side of Canada,
Okay. Yes.
way on the other side, and where like time kind of forgot it down there. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm also from an island called Cape Breton, and it's like
Okay.
just a bunch of like coastal fishing towns. You drive up the road, little town, small school, one grocery store, and then
Yeah.
15 minutes of nothing, and then another little pocket town. You know what I mean? It was one of those, and
Yeah.
I was extremely fortunate to grow up in a rural, like essentially in the woods. I have no neighbors for miles.
Yeah. Very nice.
I grew up with a riverbed connecting through the property that my parents had owned. So I get, I get I'm
Yeah.
in tune with the ground and the earth, and I can't say enough about it. There's a different,
Yeah.
it produces a different breed of people, I suppose, as it were.
Yeah. Perhaps.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm into all kinds of different breeds of people, that's for sure. But
Yeah.
I can relate in that sense.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
do you how long have you guys lived in Denmark? I mean, like it obviously suits the Iotunn purpose. It's hard to be able to get your projects off the ground, being a bit more remote, as it were.
Yeah, I think so. It's quite practical place to be actually. Of course, our singer lives in the Faroe Islands, so he has to fly down every time we like practice before going out and playing a concert, and we're meeting actually in the beginning of February to record some vocals, and so there's some travel there, but I don't know. I don't see it as a like problem at all because he lives nearby the airport up there, and then it's 2 hours, and then he's in Copenhagen. So that's the same if I have to go with the train to my parents. It's 4 hours. So
Oh, really?
yeah. So it's yeah,
No, it's nothing
but
really.
no,
Yeah, yeah.
no.
I'm used to the long travel myself, being from
Yeah,
that side
I
of the
could
thing.
imagine.
Oh
Yeah,
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 to get from my place or from Nova Scotia to Toronto in a car is about a day, and to get from
yeah.
coast to coast, Canada nonstop is about a week of driving.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so there's
I
days.
haven't been to Canada, but it's way up on top of my list. Yeah, I would love
Yeah,
to go out in nature and yeah,
come on down, man.
yeah,
We got all kinds of great shit here. There's lots of sites. There's lots of like
yeah,
beautiful people and awesome activities. Like
yeah,
all the cities have their own like personality. There's tons of venues
yeah,
for playing metal and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No one ever came to Nova Scotia, so when I moved up here recently, I hit everything I possibly could.
Yeah,
Yeah. Do you guys have any like, I mean, I know you have an album and like you're doing your thing down there, but like, are there
yeah.
any kind of designs to come to North America at all to spread the Iotunn energy?
Without like telling too much concrete about the tour, we actually had a tour planned for both US and Canada, which was cancelled.
Yeah, because of that.
Yeah, but and that's uh, everything that gets cancelled hurts, but
Of course it does.
that one particularly really, yeah, we really we had to take a couple of weeks to just god damn it. So yeah, I think in many ways we want to play like just a cliche, but everywhere.
Of course.
But it's been a dream since I heard Metallica for the first time. I think as a small kid to go to just tour North America. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, all in due time, man.
yeah, yeah, and but I'm sure it will happen. Yeah,
Yep.
but yeah,
Just one step at a time, man. Album, do your thing.
yeah,
Good things come to those who wait. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, exactly,
Um,
exactly.
Something else I've been wanting to ask you about, and I haven't had the opportunity to talk to any bands, or at least I don't think any bands are in this particular situation, but you've got a brother in the band.
Oh yes.
Yeah, brothers are definitely have an unspoken or understanding of what's going on with each other. Uh, and I guess in your case, definitely musically, what's it like to work with a brother? Like I know there's pros and cons, and brothers are great, but there's also some brother shit. You guys obviously play well in the studio. What's it like to riff with your brother?
I think it's a very, very profound and special thing. My brother and I have been close always, actually, and have been sharing the love for music, rock music and metal music and classical music, and we both play the guitars, and we've been doing that for too many years now. 25 years.
Have you guys been in the same projects and stuff?
No, Iotunn is the big like project where we both are in, but we've been writing music on and off on different occasions throughout the years.
That's awesome.
And if I played in some kind of high school metal band, he always like supported it and came with constructive criticism or just headbang to it, and you know. But my brother and I share the love for music, and we play and we write music together, but we also travel together and do treks in nature together, and love to read books and talk about it and all kind of stuff. So we really like soulmates in many ways. So
that's awesome, man.
I think it's a big plus for everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely working for the band. It's working for yourself too, like, or yourselves, as it were. Like, right on. That's a sign of that's a sign of wealth to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have one brother too. He's on the west side of the country, and him and I are very close. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
He's not a metalhead. He does not. He does not listen to the stuff that I listen to. But there is a connectivity in there, and even though it's like a million miles away, we still make efforts to see each other multiple times a year, because like that stuff it's required, it's necessary, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's priceless.
Yeah.
So
what else have I got for you? I don't know what you guys can say in terms of what the new album is coming out. It's Metal Blade, right? Is it Metal Blade?
It's Metal Blade. We're going to release 3 albums in total. That's the deal we have.
Oh, I see. Your contract is for 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Album number 2, Metal Blade. It's got to feel good releasing something on that platform for sure.
Oh, yes.
Is there, again, like, I don't know what you can really talk about, so I'm not exactly sure what to ask, but
no, I don't know either.
Okay, well, yeah, all right. I've had that problem before, eh? Like, people are just like, not gonna go there, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll talk about, I guess, harking back to my questions about asking you questions as a musician, and being in the studio space. You guys typically have all your ducks in a row when it comes to having your songs written and ready to go. Do you leave any room for exploring when the microphones are on in the studio? Like, what's the pacing like in there?
I think like recording wise and arrangement wise, it's like 99.9% done when we hit the studio to mix the music. Right now we're recording guitars, and what happens during, and that counts for every instrument, that during the recording process we tend to realize, okay, this riff could be a bit different just here in the tail, or we should have another tone in the lead guitar right there or something. So we do make quite a lot of changes during the recording process, and that's also why we tend to record at our home studios.
Oh, you guys got home studios? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and I think that's due to our need to have a lot of time and no stress at all, and just to be able to dig really deep into the music and find all these improvements in the arrangements. That also counts for the whole access process.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, but when we hit the studio like last time with Frederik Nordström, there's
awesome.
we always have like 1,000 thoughts about a specific effect or delay or reverb or something. But in the studio, we take in the studio, we also get all kinds of new mix ideas and just go nuts, you know?
Yeah.
So it really feels like the music is done when it's actually done. When you like press, okay, we're going to the master is done, and now we're going to, then it's done. Until then, it's, yeah.
Are you guys? Are you one of the types where you get kind of hung up on that 95% done, and and then comes the tinkering and stuff like that, or are you good at hitting that? Oof, mics are off, away it goes.
I think it's always a matter of accepting that when you press the final button, you still have to live with that there's possibilities still, you know. So, yeah. But at some point you have to say that's it. So, yeah. But it's alive all the way until the very end for us.
Cool. Yeah, I can appreciate that. I find with my stuff, I'm still hung up in that 95% sort of thing. And it takes not practice is the wrong word, but experience. It takes experience. Like how many things, like X amount of songs can you write before you just know that, like, okay, it's had its natural conclusion. You know what I mean? Or you find yourself slipping into that mode where, like, hey, the endless tinkering is about to begin, and that's when, like, that's the sign. You know what I mean?
And I think that's very much relied on just a stomach, a gut feel.
Yep.
If you listen to the music and you really, and it has something to say to you, and you think it's, oh, that's fucking good, then you have to trust yourself and say, hey, it's probably pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's I mean, everyone, I've asked that question a couple of times, and the answer is always like that too. So it's refreshing to know that there's some commonality behind that. Maybe one day I'll get there.
Yeah, I think that gut feel gets more and more refined and defined in some way. It just happens. It gets better, right? And I hope that continues in some way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, here's hoping for you.
Yeah.
and here's hoping for me. Are you taking any notes as per how to handle things in the studio from Access All Worlds into the new one? I actually don't know how many albums you've worked on. I'm only familiar with your Iotunn stuff. So,
well, we did, we've done all kind of stuff. Jon has a lot of experience from Hamford and Barren Earth, and Eskil has played in a band called Sunless Dawn, who released an album a couple of years ago, which is a really, really amazing album, and so on. So we have all kinds of experiences, but I think the main, there's some methods in the studio that we've changed a bit. We're more into getting the natural groove present on this one. I think it's perhaps also I think I feel that I'm a better guitarist now than when I started recording Access All Worlds. And that's also something that's, I think, counts for all of us, that because we're doing this a lot, then we get better at it, and that I think we can use that on this album to make it more natural and groovy.
Create a groovy Iotunn.
Groovy Iotunn.
Yeah, man, bring it on. I can't wait. You guys got a date? Is there a date you can share in terms of release, or we're not there yet?
No, not yet. I can't tell too much, but what we are aiming for is to release the album next year.
Oh, 2024? Fuck.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
Yeah, but there's a lot of music on the album. So there's and we have a lot of layers in our music and so on. So the whole writing process is very long, and also the recording process. Also because we don't live from the music, so we have to to go and earn money, you know.
Yeah,
and,
no, for sure.
So we're fitting the recording process in on evenings and Saturdays and in holidays and so on. So if we could do only this, it would be a much faster process, of course. But
well, I mean,
yeah,
what you gonna do, man? Like, it's like, that's life, you know what I mean? You're like you got to have the balance too. Ultimately, I'd be sitting in front of a microphone talking nonsense forever and making millions of dollars doing it, but I'm not. I have to work. Yeah. But yeah, no, like, again, it's balance, man. Are you able to? Surely you must, but like, how do you find the balance between what you do as a person with your Iotunn projects or musical projects at all? Like, it can be tricky sometimes.
Yeah, it can be very, very tricky also, because you have to have hours during the day where you like recharge and get into some kind of relaxation mode or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just, I think it's all like 9 out of 10 days. It's a pleasure for me to have music in my life, and I think it's. I'm just inspired and like motivated to do what we do, and I truly believe that we can take it to some very cool places with this music. So
Yep, I agree.
But I also like it's not just a hobby anymore. I've put the work label on Iotunn now also, because it's a lot of time going into it, and that's also to do it as professionally as you possibly can. To really, it's work, and it has to be like as good as possible.
Yeah, especially when you give when you care so much about the final product or the next step or whatever. Like, you kind of have to give it the hours that it's due. You know what I mean? You
can't compromise on that. I don't think so.
No, you can't. No. It can be tricky to put the hours in, but the hours are still required. This Evisceradio project, sometimes I find lots of time to be able to do it. Sometimes barely any time. I'm in a pocket right now where you were talking about downtime. I'm not getting any this month, like, at all. I work in the film industry, and we're just setting up. We're just setting up for a TV series, and shooting begins in a couple of weeks, so there are no days off except for today. Today was the one day that I have off this month. Yeah, you know what I mean. So, but in the end, I care about my brand just as much as you care about yours. And you have to put the hours in, exclamation point.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah. What caught me off guard, a pleasant surprise actually is what I meant to say, was your acoustic reimagining of Access All Worlds. I didn't know that was a thing until I think I can't even remember. You guys released it and I found out somehow, and then it was on Bandcamp. And I snagged that up immediately, and it was exactly what I was hoping it would be, which is just a collection of passages and just pretty acoustic melodies of all the things that were going on in Access All Worlds. I'm a person where if I have a song, there are 3 iterations of that. And so when I'm writing music, there's always like I have a campfire version of it, or I have like a live loop guitar looping version of that. Did you guys why did you release something like that? I'm interested the shit out of me, and I've always wanted to ask you, like, how'd you come to that?
I think it's mainly because my brother and I started out playing on classical guitars, and we still do today. So classical music and classical guitar is just as important for us as metal music.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, actually, my brother and I have this. I think, yeah, it must be a tradition now that we write like classical guitar duets for if our mother turns 50 or something, then we write so it's natural for us to try and take the access material and do what we did there, and perhaps it ain't the last time.
Perhaps it what? I'm sorry?
It won't be the last time.
Oh, well, man. Yeah. Good answer.
Yeah. Suspense.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. I like going through. I don't have any other examples of that other than you guys. And I guess apparently myself as well. I like for every song I have A, B, and C. And for music for any instance. But it's funny, as much as I enjoy Access All Worlds, the album, I wake up super early to go to work to beat all the traffic. I'm pretty much at the studio around like 4:30 a.m. and it's a 20-minute drive, which is just enough time to slot in that album. And there's something to be said with listening to music and the setting in which you do that. And there's just something about the cityscape driving through downtown Toronto on a monster freeway with no cars and and stuff like that going. It's kind of surreal. Yeah.
That's a good setting. Yeah,
it is. It's pretty neat. And I kind of make efforts to listen to music in certain states of mind or wherever I'm placed, like sleep deprivation does interesting things to music, and I don't starve myself of rest to listen to music, but there are times where there's not enough hours in the day, so I'll play something in there. And the way that the mind twists itself with the sensory that you're taking in can lead to some pretty creative outlets too. I'm thinking about taking that in a bit more of a writing composition way, but when it comes to writing your stuff or messing around with ideas, do you do it in the comfort of your room? Do you trade back and forth with your brother or your bandmates concerning like, here's a song idea? Do you have like a riff box when you come up with a melody and you boop save and then bust it out when the time is right?
I think it's a combination of things. It's not a lot of days during a year where I don't have a guitar nearby, so every time I practice on my guitar, almost every time, there's some new music coming up. And then I record it on the phone, and then later on I show it to... It's the foundation in our composition is my brother and I. And we like to have an image when we listen, when we have arranged a song with all the different guitars on and so on. We wanted to, when we're listening to it, we wanted to give us a complete feeling, like when you hear a symphony or something like that. We want to
way of putting it.
Have a feeling of really being drawn into a universe or sent out somewhere and going through a lot of things that touches our feelings and creates images, and if we have a good feeling about listening to that guitar track on and on, then we're like, okay, next step. And then it goes into the band as a whole, and then it's just a big kind of chaotic creative process.
It enters a new realm of I can picture that.
So but it's the foundation for our songs are based on the guitar arrangements, I think, always, actually.
100% of the time the guitar lays the foundation. That's a pretty common thing too. My stuff is guitar centric. and
Yeah.
I build out of that. It's melody based or groove based, and
Well,
that's what fits the pocket there. Yeah,
we love the guitar.
I'm a guitar player, man. I've been playing for 25 years. I played all kinds of. I was a shredder back in the day.
Yeah.
I had the big line of guitars. I had all my Jacksons, all pointy and fucking black and everything. And
Oh,
and
yes.
then I fell off, but I always had an acoustic guitar around me.
Yeah.
And so when there was a period in my life where I was making insane amounts of money, and so I bought all the pointed guitars back, and then after having sold them previously, but I wasn't really into playing it that much anymore. But I did have like a Taylor, and I sold everything else, but kept the Taylor. And then when COVID had hit, that's kind of like all I really had. And plus, I was lucky enough to like have a nice project studio in an adjacent room, I guess. And that's just sort of where it took place from then. And up until this day, like I have one acoustic or electric guitar, but I have a couple of acoustic guitars. Everything is acoustically driven. I've never played live before. I'm like a well-refined bedroom player, and I've got the chops. And when you if you walk into a bar or see someone playing live and they have a riff going and then they loop it and then it plays over and then they sort of play on top of that and they build their songs that way. I'm going down that avenue and sort of like one man banding it. I don't have issues. I don't have issues with standing up and talking in front of a crowd. I have no problem on a microphone. There's nothing like that. I'm not a singer. I can't sing worth a fuck. So I'm not great, man. I sound like a lost donkey looking for his mother. Like it's not good.
That's very original.
but I can play, and I know that this leads me to the question I was going to ask you is considering live playing, seeing as how you've done this for as long as you have. You must be it looks to me from watching on YouTube that you guys seem pretty comfortable yourself specifically in front of a crowd. How do you operate when it comes up to a live situation where you're going to go out? And I realize that's a loaded question because you've done it a bunch, but someone's got to break the ice somehow, and I fucking have to for sure. So that's why I'm asking.
But I don't know how many musicians out there who's able to be totally calm and cool all the way before the show, during the show, after the show. I don't know anyone who's like that way, actually. For me, it's been a long-term process, really, because like just 5-7 years ago, I could get extremely nervous before entering the stage. And I also remember as a kid when I had to play when I played like classical guitar concerts in churches and so on. I got really nervous, but again, it's just keep on doing it and working on yourself. It's much better today. And today it's personally I get like I get quite crazy before a show because it's just you
mean you get tense or
not tense, just like there's so much adrenaline and I just want to hit that first note. Come on,
I hear you. Like once you're in it, it's probably a different thing. You're probably not. I wouldn't imagine you're racked with whatever you're going through while you're up there. Well, once you're up on stage and it's happening, it's a different feel altogether.
I think the situation on stage is not comparable to anything else in life because it's a tons of things happening. I think both in the body and what you have to play and the whole thing is something very, very unique. So I'm not the kind of player going up on stage and it's just like, oh yeah, it's cool and just fun.
Yeah.
That I also have, it's that, but I'm also feeling that it's live and it's present and there's a lot on stake here. We fucking have to deliver and make this our best show and so on. So that's, for me, it's not simple at all.
No.
But it's getting all those different things are getting more and more aligned with a more calm and experienced.
There's that word again.
Yeah, feeling, I think. But to me, it's like there's so many things going on, and also if you read interviews with the biggest metal bands like Metallica and Maiden or something, Bruce Dickinson and James Hetfield often says in interviews that they have a lot of nerves before going on stage and so on. So
yeah, that's true.
And I think it should be that way. I don't think you why play it just cool and calm and
nah. I'm glad you didn't answer it like that.
It's a metal show, you know.
yeah. Well, yeah. It's funny you mentioned that because Lemmy, the way his microphone being way up there, he would do that so he didn't have to look at the fucking look at the audience, right?
Yeah, and Jim Morrison, he played his first like 50 shows with the back to the audience. So
that's fucking hilarious, right? And like how many shows have they done? Like how big have they gotten? Just people handle their experiences in different ways. Like whether it's your first time or your fucking 20 millionth time or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm probably pedestaling a little bit too much. I find that when I'm like doing this, for example, there is like the I hope it goes well. It always really does. I've never had a shitty time or anything like that.
No.
I've been doing the radio thing for a number of years now, and like it's always a blast. It's live.
Yeah.
You know, like no one cares about fucking up or just like it is what it is. It's its own organic process. But
and that's perhaps the most important thing for me in regards of playing concerts and in life in general, that I try really to become better and better at not being worried that something is going to happen in a bad way or negative way, but it's going to happen and it's going to be okay. So
man, well said. Perfect. I read a quote this morning. The battle is won or lost first in your mind, and or something to that effect. And I'm of that. Like I definitely get along with that philosophy really, really well. I tend to. I tend to like go forward and thinking like I know I can do this. It's within my abilities to do so. I mean, there's always opportunity, or there's always room for like chance and randomness and all that kind of stuff. Like things will play out as they may, but to have a victory pictured in your head moving forward, like that's half the battle right there. Then you just go in and do it.
Yeah, and also. To have in mind that, okay, if I make one mistake, two mistakes, it's not a complete disaster, you know.
No.
Just get on
just get on, man. And like also another thing that I go by is like some of the best lessons are learned by mistakes. Like
exactly,
like no one is 100% all the time. They would be the most boring fucking people in the world if you ask me. But like scratches build character. You learn through harder lessons. The harder the lesson is, the better the silver lining is. Stuff like that. I welcome mistakes. Like I'm sure at some point I'm gonna have like an interview that doesn't go well or something like that. Like it's
not this one.
No, fuck, it's not this one, man. This one's been great. This one went in a direction where I didn't really think it was gonna go. But
but that's the good thing.
Yeah, man. And you and I are just riffing. You could just be like sitting in a room right here, chilling over a beer or something. I think that you're just the same, dude. Like you seem like a really well adjusted and fucking dope ass person. I'm happy to talk to you. Like
you too.
Thank you. Yeah, this has been fun. But I tend to move forward in life with like those particular things in mind. The Evisceradio project is just an extension of those beliefs. I'm not a religious person at all. I never had it growing up. The way I look at life in general is essentially through the steps I've taken, essentially, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just the path that I've gone, and I've seen some fucking crazy mistakes happen. I'm also not perfect. I've fucked up royally in the past too. you know, so you know, you take them all together and you have what is what it is, you know. I'm very fortunate to be pursuing the things that I'm pursuing right now as a human being in general. I'm happy. I love my career. The money's there. My passion projects are there. And talking to yourself too, like you're well adjusted. You're tight with your brothers. So the family thing is there. You know, you walk fucking mountains in Norway, dude. So the fresh air definitely helps with the blood flow.
Oh yes.
Yeah. It's nice to know that like there's people with that particular set of minerals, I guess, that are walking around. When I came to Toronto, there's been such a mix of people, like city born, city bred people that are too caught up in their rat race. People who come from just all walks of life, and they just make up very interesting stories. They don't make up interesting stories. They provide interesting stories and things that I can relate to or not. Is Denmark like a big city? I don't know anything about it.
Denmark is a very flat country with a lot of coastline. I think we have like 7,000 or 8,000 kilometers of coastline.
Really?
And we have 700 islands in total or something.
700 islands?
Yeah, perhaps 400. I can't remember, but a lot of islands. And we have Copenhagen is the capital with around 1 million people.
Right.
I think we're around 5.5 or 6 million totally.
Yeah.
And then a lot of small towns all around, and a lot of agriculture, and too little free nature.
Yeah, I bet.
But I think that's a global problem in many ways. But
yeah, that's.
But it's a huge problem in Denmark. I think we have 2% of our lands is nature or something. So it's
concrete jungle, man.
Yeah.
Yep. I growing up in Atlantic provinces and stuff, I was not used to the sky, like just the size of fucking everything. You know what I mean? Like it's all gray and asphalt, and fucking Toronto winters are bullshit. Like everything's
gray on gray.
you know, and we just got over the dark hump too, and like I haven't seen the sun in a while.
No.
yeah, but it is what it is. Do you find yourself having to like get out and get away from that shit? Like how often do you wind up going home? Do you like I guess what I'm asking is, do you find yourself coming across many moments where you need to go away to recharge and leave your fucking city bubble?
I try to recharge a lot during the days when I'm living in Copenhagen. Mm-hmm. And that's just by going to the water or to parks or something like that. I do that quite often. But those travels to Norway or Faroe Island or Iceland or something is very important to me, because it's just necessary, I think, to get away, and where you don't have to listen to all kind of human created sounds and stuff.
Sirens, man. It's the sirens that get me.
Fucking sirens, yeah.
Yeah, it's just all the time. I live downtown Toronto too, so it's just a constant.
Yeah, so you have to,
yeah.
They're also quite often here, but and also my parents live in the countryside where I grew up, so I try to get to travel to them once a month or something.
Dude, that's awesome. Once a month.
Yeah, but a lot of walks also is my way of like recharging, and
yeah, man.
I'm thinking about music.
I'm the same way too. I'm a walker. Grew up in the woods. There's no forests anywhere, but there are a lot of riverbeds and stuff that kind of work its way through Toronto. So and there's path work. I don't know if this is the right word. Path work. There's a lot of paths, and and I'll take those paths. And like before I sat down with you, I grabbed my coffee around the corner, jumped in the car, drove to the place where there are paths through the woods, and just sort of did that thing. And that's my little escape from the bubble that is still inside the bubble. You know what I mean? Like I can take moments. Yeah. I need a daily, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm not as fortuitous enough to escape on the monthly, but there are ways in which I can find a little bit of grounding. So it's very cool to know. It's very cool to know that you do the same sort of thing. And is that your moment? Do you listen like? I'm trying to, when I go walking and doing that stuff, I intend to not bring music with me. If my phone stays in the car, I don't listen.
It's the same. Yeah. Same for me.
Yeah.
Totally the same. I want to listen to everything I'm surrounded by.
Yeah.
So when I was younger, I listened to music always in the bus, walking. I listened to music all the time. But now I have my own music going on in my brain all the time. So my walks has to be trying to get away from that also in many ways.
Well, yeah, for sure. I like you.
I actually listened to music for the first time in years, I think, during a walk the other day. But yeah, I normally don't.
Yeah,
I just want to listen. Also, if I'm just walking through Copenhagen, I want to listen to people who's talking and all kind of sounds. I think that's important to connect with the environment in many ways.
Yep, that's for sure. I mean, the connectivity is where it's at. I had always listened. For years, I've always listened to music walking down the street and just doing whatever the case. Just constantly something going, not really taking into consideration the connectivity aspect of it all. It was just something that I did.
Yeah.
And then up until like recently, last year maybe, I had lost my headphones or something. And it was the third time in like a few weeks that I had bought new ones. I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm just not supposed to have this right now. And so, and then I would just pocket my phone and walk down the street. And then I was like, oh, like a new world almost opened up, like all these sounds and people, and, like all this stuff rolling by. And then the walks had started in Toronto. And then like, there's birds and some wildlife and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is so much better. I've since bought the headphones, but I do not use them. I don't use them at the gym. I don't use them really much at all. No.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, helps rein it in.
I think that's the best way to recharge and connect and just feel better.
Yeah, man. And in the end, you got one chance to live it. You want to be feeling good the whole way through. The whole idea behind it, my philosophy, is that you got one chance to do it. You do it as best to your abilities you can. Meet and invite the right people into your life. Energies attract. I want to be the type of person that I attract, and it works. You know what I mean? So and this Evisceradio project has been inviting that. I'm very happy to have sat down finally across from you and have a chat. It's been really, really cool, man. You're fucking awesome. Yeah, your music was really good too.
We have to meet when we get to Canada sometime. We have to meet in person and say hi.
Absolutely, man. We'll have ourselves a pint. I'll keep my ear to the ground if you are able to tell me that whenever you guys are coming down, I'd love to meet you, man. Yeah. Very cool. So listen, on that note, thanks again. I had a fucking blast talking to you.
Yeah, it was amazing. Cool.
Yeah, I look forward to the new Iotunn stuff. Oh, do you have anything out there available that isn't like more stuff of yours that isn't Iotunn? Like, is there anything out there that you might want to push, or like, is it just strictly Iotunn business that's going on these days?
No, if people haven't heard Hamford or Baron Earth, go check them out. That's with our singer Iotunn, and also Sunless Dawn, our bass player's other band, is very cool. And well, this is the first time I'm promoting it, but I have a kind of personal small solo project, which is called Echoes of Nightfall, which is instrumental, calm, spacey music in some way. Yeah, so
wicked.
That's also out there.
Cool. Yeah. I'm gonna do a little bit of digging myself then.
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course, man.
Cool.
Yeah, once again, thank you very much. Have yourself a wicked day, and go Iotunn.
And thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thank you, man.
All right, take care.
Talk to you soon.
You betcha. Of course.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Care.
All right, man. See ya.
Bye.
Well, that was a sick one, wasn't it? I'm super fortunate to be able to talk to the musicians who write the music that I'm down with, and know that the people behind the sounds are as well adjusted and well grounded as Jesper is. Man, Iotunn is amazing. Jesper is a very cool fucking person. Keep an eye out for the new Iotunn. It's going to be showing up in 2024. It's going to blow the doors off of shit, just like the first one, Access All Worlds, did. If you are not familiar with the sound, go to their Bandcamp, sign them up on Instagrams, follow them on Facebooks, buy all their stuff, and do yourself a favor. Like, these guys are definitely worth checking out. It's super duper cool stuff. Highly recommended. And while you're showing them some love and checking them out, show Evisceradio some love too, please. I'm across all social media platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. If radio jams are your thing, I also have a 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. EST time slot on metaldevastationradio.com, where I play shit like Iotunn and talk nonsense in front of a microphone. It's a guaranteed great time. It's less of my talk and more dope music, but be sure to check that out. It's always good to have more people listening in. I'm just a purveyor of what I think sounds awesome, and you can find all those awesome sounds over there. That's metaldevastationradio.com, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. EST, baby. And so once again, thank you so much for tuning in. I've got all kinds of cool-ass interviews coming up in 2023. Be sure to keep your eyes peeled for all those announcements and stuff on the social medias. Thank you so much again. My name is Thomas. This is Evisceradio, and I'll catch you on the next one. Yes.